Peer Consultation with Gina Coe and Sandra Collins.
There's an interesting tie to what I had in my mind around deconstruction, looking at the anti-racism piece that she talks about and the shared experience of systemic racism that's clear, even from the little bit that we know about Austin. So we've talked about deconstruction in this chapter, and I think it would be interesting to look at Macey's history and maybe even a little bit of the history of her family and immigration and what that experience was like in terms of systemic racism and how that thread sort of carries forward into the here and now when, I mean, we look around us and we're faced with these huge issues right now around systemic racism and in particular anti-Asian racism. So that's what's kind of processing in my mind as I look at this story.
At this point, I think y'all know I'm Asian, and working with Macey, I will also have my own processes to the process with her. I also have my own, other clients, my other Asian clients who are experiencing racism in my own life as well. So my passion, my own personal and professional passion for anti-racism, I have to be cognizant that, well, first of all, it doesn't get in the way. So for example, it would not be appropriate to say, oh, actually, Macey, I think you can do way more. I think you need to be an activist. I need you, like that's not perhaps where Macey's at. And I also need to be cognizant that her experiences of racism may not be similar or same as other clients I have. And for me, I'm in again to be this using self-awareness and self-reflexivity and self-reflection where I am at in my life, where I am this becoming this strong advocate for anti-racism. I'm going to just kind of pause here to tell you a little bit about, I'm starting a project. It's a podcast called Against the Tides of Racism. And at the time of this recording is April 2021. So May is Asian Heritage Month, and I'm hoping to feature several Asian guests. And actually, Dr. Gina Wong will be my first guest that we're going to talk about our experiences and then our professional experiences. And the end of each episode will be a call for action. Now knowing and living these experiences, what can we contribute as in our profession or in personal in our professional life? Anyhow, for Macey, I think I like what Sandra said, like the deconstruction, right? Like the self-love, and then the anti-racism experience, the internalized racism, the family history of, because Macey came to Canada at 7 years old. So perhaps, if we're going to do some calculations, her parents would be late 20s or early 30s, right? There's another layer to racism when you have an accent speaking the language, right? Macey might not have that experience, but her parents might have, most likely actually, because going back to my own life, my aunties and uncles, they get a lot of like either dismissiveness or outright like, I don't understand you, or I don't serve you because I don't get what you're saying, so, and some of that can be internalized, right, by her parents and by Macey too. So anyhow, I think all of these different touch points would be important to explore with Macey. So thank you for your words, Sandra. I think it'll be very meaningful to move forward to explore some of these with Macey.
And Gina, part of the process of coming together and modeling what we do in peer supervision is me attending and demonstrating immediately by noticing the weight that this carries for you and wondering, what you need in this moment as a therapist sitting here reflecting on the story and how we can be supportive of you and your experience. I don't know if you want to talk about that a tiny bit or not on this video. That's completely up to you.
Sandra, before we press record, I mentioned that I know that this week could be heavy, and And yes, I'm crying, and I feel really grateful for being a part of this team. Sandra, you've been amazing in terms of uh, how the goal, part of this ebook is to invite contributors from all walks of life, right? From all non-dominant groups and, allies. And I really feel it. I really feel it every week. We meet to do this book, and I look forward to it. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel validated. I feel like my voice matters. And that's actually what I hope in my journey with my clients, that, their voice doesn't matter. Their pain and suffering is validated. And these experiences are it's invaluable for me to experience myself, and to bring back to my clients, the reflecting team formats and everything we've been doing with Macey's videos. It's been really helpful. I just want to say thank you.
And thanks for being so honest, Gina, because I think it models for people watching this video that we are human beings, and the suffering right now is very real for the Asian community and for other communities who've been experiencing oppression throughout this pandemic and in long history of oppression. Yeah, so we stand in solidarity in whatever way that we can.